At the Army Experimental Station, an ASF Class 4 installation, controlled directly by the Chief Signal Officer and located at Pine Camp in Upper New York State, specially qualified men are taught a highly specialized type of warfare, sonic warfare. Deception of the enemy is, of course, as old as war itself. The kind that's taught here, organized combat deception, is new. Here's why that enemy observation post reported that this bridge was being shoved across the river only a few hundred yards in front of him. Because he did hear it. Every sound that is part of the bridge building operation is picked up by this microphone, carried through this cable, and recorded inside this sound recording truck, on this turntable, exactly the way a phonograph record is made. While it's being recorded, the sound is monitored over this loudspeaker. In this way, they can tell that they're picking up exactly the sounds they want with complete deceptive fidelity. They've just finished a recording. This one was only the sound of actual construction. Every component part of the building operation is recorded on a separate disc. The next will be a bulldozer at work. Then men unloading trucks and so on, recording each separate step. Of course, construction of a bridge is only one example. At the same time, another crew is at an armored camp recording the sound of an armored column, tanks crossing a small bridge, or any one of the many other basic sounds heard in combat areas which would indicate troop movements to a listening enemy. All these recordings go into the basic library at the Army Experimental Station, a library built up at the cost of much painstaking research. For actual projection, the sound is re-recorded from the discs onto wire, a much more compact, easy-to-handle device than any heretofore employed. While the fidelity compares favorably with disc and film recording, these small spools hold enough wire to provide 30 minutes of sound. Here, a modified M39 has been used to mount equipment, but it can just as easily be mounted in other carriers, such as a 2.5-ton truck, a half-track, or a 3/4-ton truck. Mounted in this vehicle, 800 pounds of sonic equipment can simulate hundreds of tons of armored vehicles. This mobile weather station has been developed by the Army Experimental Station specially for their own method of sound ranging. Sonic warfare units depend upon audibility to the enemy for their effectiveness. Consequently, it's just as necessary for them to know their range under existing conditions as it is for artillery to know its range. With these instruments, they can compute both the velocity and angle of the prevailing wind, as well as the wind and temperature gradients. The sound vital to sonic deception travels close to the Earth's surface, so the existing conditions between the heights of 5 and 35 feet from the ground must be known at all times. With the progress of the war, changes in tactics and technique have called for changes and improvement in equipment. The best loudspeakers for the military requirements have been developed. Under ideal conditions, over water, they were found capable of projecting sound for 15 miles.